This episode of Super Legit brought to you by Acme Labs, Paunchburger, and the Muggle Liaison Office. Welcome back to the Super Legit podcast. It is another fantastic episode surrounded with my favorite people. This is seriously, I'm going to speak from the heart for a second, me being Jarrett, Lennon, Kaufman, a.k.a. Jet. I seriously do this podcast with some of my favorite people in the world. These are my friends, and I'm going to introduce you to those friends right now. If this is your first episode ever, then you get to know them for the first time. Otherwise, you already know who they are, but
welcome,
I don't care.
Brah.
Yeah, welcome. Let's start with Chris Sanders here.
Oh,
Chris Sanders. If you could have one cartoon attribute, what would it be?
You give them all the good ones.
I don't know if this is what I actually want, but it was the first one that popped in my head when you said cartoon attribute.
That's how
I
this
guess
works.
it would be the Auga eyes.
Yes. By the way, it is my sincere belief that when anybody ever answers any what is your favorite or what is the one thing question, they are always answering the first thing that came to their mind and not the literal favorite, because I want to believe that
Because I've never thought about that before.
Right,
I've only ever thought about
exactly.
my favorite like superpower if I had a mutant ability or something, but not my cartoon ability, because there's
And if I remember from the conversation we had, your favorite mutant superpower would be to be able to make your eyes bug out really far and go awooga, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was that. I would be I-Man.
This one's for you, Morph.
So I'm gonna that was a fun one, so I'm actually gonna take this one down the line. Michael Heiman, same question to you. What would be your one cartoon attribute if you could have one?
Oh, I would like to be able to make the holes in mountainsides.
Yes.
Like, so just be like, bloop, and then be able to go into the mountain and then, be able to pop up a hole anywhere I want. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, no, that was always a favorite of mine. And like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they had obviously in the holes too. And like that was the coolest thing to me. That's why I think the game Portal was always such a huge deal to me. Like being able to create a hole or a portal in something.
Can't Elon Musk do that?
I'm sure. Well, the Boring Company is halfway there. Now they just have to be able to do that in anything. Josh Spence,
Hey,
let's hit you up next. The same question. What if you could have one cartoon attribute? What would you pick?
So this is kind of based off real life almost, given it's a cartoon thing. I am about 6'3", and I weigh like 2.5 jets. So I actually
wait, like Harriers?
Yeah.
Or...
No, yeah. I'm a
Jet Kaufmans. 2.5 Jet Kaufmans.
No. F-18 Eagles. Like I am 2 F-18 Eagles.
Wait, what's one Jet Kaufman?
Half a F-18 Eagle.
These are the lightest fighter planes.
So
ever.
That's why they go so fast, and why
Yes.
America's fighting force will not be defeated.
I'm surprisingly light on my feet. Like where I'll be walking through an aisle, like at work, someone will be like, "Oh, you fucking snuck up on me," and I'm like, "Yeah." What you expecting? Like big giant make noise when walk. Like so.
Listen to me walk.
Yeah. So what I would actually like is like when I go from destination A to destination B, I'd like that little like cloud of smoke, like the Road Runner where I've just like took off. Like, wow, he's quick for a big man. Like,
Yeah, the Josh-shaped cloud of smoke.
The way you started that, I thought you were going to go, because this is the character you play in all of our stage scenes, is I thought you were going to go Kool-Aid Man, the ability to just smash through a wall.
no, that's a fat joke that really hurts my feelings.
Also, Kool-Aid Man is not a cartoon character.
Oh yeah,
It's true. He's real.
Stage
real.
scene? Stage scene. Stage scene? What is that?
What's this stage?
Yeah, I'm confused.
that was another lifetime ago.
Yeah, it's a platform, usually painted black. Typically has fake bricks behind it and a couple doors that lead to nowhere.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yep.
cloud of smoke, speed. Yes, that's me.
I like that. I really like that one. That one's fun. Stephen C. James. I'm going to ask you the same question. I had another one loaded for you, though, so I'm actually going to roll them together because I think they actually work well together.
Okay, all right, let's hear it. All right,
so
double up.
We'll start with that same question. What would that cartoon attribute be? But also, I was curious if there was a fictionalized world that you could live in. What fictionalized world would you most want to live in? And these could kind of together. They could be separate, but I want to hear these.
Okay, so first of all, I would be able to do the thing. My cartoon attribute would be the thing where you are terribly injured, and then you walk out of frame and walk back, and you're fine. Like, that would be my thing. The thing where it's just like, oh my God, it hurts so much. It hurts so much. Let me walk by myself for a second, and I'm going to come back and like, hey guys, I'm back at 100%. Here we go.
And that was like every 80s action hero too. Like their hair was still perfect.
You sure you don't want the cartoon ambulance guys to come in with the stretcher going hop 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 hop.
What if my cartoon power was super lame and it would be like, I wanted to be like the sheepdog and the wolf and be able to clock in on time.
or you could have went with the other Wile E. Coyote one instead of like invulnerability. It's like, I want to be able to dial the Acme Corporation all the time for supplies.
And as far as fictional worlds go, it's tough because I'm a Star Wars fan, but like up until The Last Jedi, I'm pretty sure everybody in the world of Star Wars was illiterate, right? There's never any books. No one ever reads anything. It's always like, I think I remember this thing.
And then they burned the books in The Last Jedi, so everyone after that's illiterate as well.
Also, women and people of color don't really exist.
Well, there's Grizz, who is a very obscure late tier character. When you're a black kid growing up as a Star Wars fan, you find everybody you can to hang on to. And of course, there's Lando. There's Lando, who's not just a good role model, but he's also a super smooth. Yeah.
I mean, Lando's cool as fuck.
Yeah. Let me think.
You truly do belong here amongst the clouds.
I'm trying to think of like what world, because like, you know, the Harry Potter world has gotten more and more problematic, what with J.K. Rowling not knowing how to accept people. And plus, if you take a look at those books anyway, this is actually something that comedian Joe Starr pointed out to me, a buddy of mine. He has a bit where it's like, the entire world of the Harry Potter books is segregation. Because it's like, you muggles are great and all, but you should keep your own water fountains. So it's like a terrible world that I don't think I'd want to live in. Since I'm also a Hufflepuff, which means that is bottom level. I'm total.
And then
Hufflepuff.
it's like cultural appropriation, because then the wizards get to their school on a literal underground railroad.
Yeah, it's just levels of like, you know, J.K. Rowling, you terrible billionaire. Fictional world like Star Trek seems like it would be nice, but I gotta say,
that would be great.
Probably a little boring. Lord of the Rings, no.
How would Star Trek be boring?
Yeah, I want to ask that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I feel like there's a lot of fucking exploring.
You're just exploring.
When in the Star Trek universe?
Although I suppose you have to be on the Enterprise for the most part to be able to do all that exploring.
Exactly. If I was a captain of said ship, okay, that might be cool, but I'm being realistic. I'm thinking a middle, like whatever their version of middle school drama teacher is, which in most of those worlds would be corpse.
Well, have you seen Lower Decks by any chance?
I have not.
I highly recommend it, because it literally is about the crew who doesn't get to go on all the missions and who basically is just responsible for maintaining the ships. They do end up on some missions, but like their ship is typically going on all of the second contact missions. Mm-hmm. So they're the ones now going to help charter the deals that have been made since the first contact with these societies and everything else. And it's very funny. It's like it's somewhere roughly between Rick and Morty and Star Trek. So it's making fun of Star Trek, but in the most respectful way possible, because it really recognizes the references and it makes them and it appreciates it, and it calls out all the stuff that we think is ridiculous, and they're like, yes, it is ridiculous, and we're gonna play with it.
I think I figured out my world.
Oh, please.
Parks and Rec. I would live in Pawnee, Indiana.
Yes.
I would be friends with like Leslie Knope. We'd go get waffles.
Hell yeah.
Ben, I'd have a weekly Cones of Dunshire game with Ben where he always won. I'd try to give Andy advice and I'd just watch him make a mess of things. I would, yes.
Klingons are the worst.
Coming from a rural Michigan town just like that, like I can't argue. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would live, yeah. I remember when they did their quarantine episode, I was just like, I've come home again. So yeah, I would totally, Pawnee, Indiana, sign me up. If they need a middle school drama teacher in Pawnee, Indiana, I would literally take that job right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Super.
Okay, Miss Rowling. I know we've had some issues as of late with your personal stances, and as a PR
what
company,
personal stances?
Okay, well, it's been well documented in the news. I think we can have a quick
prove it
solution on this. So we can write another book where.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you an author?
I'm not an author, but just hear me out real quick.
Okay, so an author just told you to prove it. Like, see, I write things down.
Sure.
People read them. Okay, so I prove it every day.
You do.
I just asked you to prove the last statement you said,
I will.
And you just continued speaking as if you were an author.
So
please prove it.
Okay, I'll have my crew of other guys help me here. I think if you write a follow-up book, and we have like the leaders of Hogwarts, they introduce like I don't know, we'll call it like the Hogwarts Rights Act of like Hogwarts 64, and it prohibits like unequal application of like registration requirements. It prohibits segregation of all types in schools, right? Public accommodations, right? So it's not like Muggles in the front, or Muggles in the back, or any type of weird public accommodation, or any type of like employment discrimination among the teachers. I think this is something that if we introduce, since it'll rehabilitate your image. I feel because it'll show that you
rehabilitate my image. I'm the author of the Harry Potter series. What do I need to rehabilitate? Did I write Star Wars? No,
Tim,
I write
Tim, help me out.
Harry
Tim,
Potter.
Please help me.
Yeah, let me break this down for you, okay? Because I'm all over the social medias, all right? That's my job here, okay? I'm all over the Insta, I'm all over the Snap, I'm all over the Twits. I got all this stuff on lock, and they are not having you anymore, all right? This
Who's
is your
not having me anymore? People? Or not people, like
all of
trans.
your fans, Miss Rowling.
Well, to speak your language, we'll say Muggles. The Muggles are not having you anymore. And in this
the
world,
transgender folk? Is that who you're speaking of?
No,
when you say
we didn't
Muggles?
even mention that.
We're
using your language.
Again, this is kind of our point here, is that you go straight to the transgender. You just you assume this and you see it as a negative, and your
I don't see.
your
It's not a
fans-
negative. They're just not people.
JK.
Please.
I'm gonna jump in.
Please.
I think these guys are trying to be a little bit more polite. And I will say, you are a monster. Because you wrote a series of beloved children's books, and then you told a good portion.
Yes, because I love children.
Yes,
okay?
and then
we all know how much I love children. Children that are straight and heterosexual children.
Yeah, that's the thing. You told a lot of those children that they don't exist or matter, which makes you, let me look at everything people are saying online. Garbage, terrible, the worst, and more canceled than a new season of F Troop.
See, no one called me rubbish.
Well, that might be a little bit of the language barrier.
Well, let me hold on. Let me search here real quick. Yeah, nope. If I search Rowling rubbish, I get 487 results.
Ralph.
That's it. 487
today.
How many people are in the world? Subtract all the gays and the transgender people, and then give me the answer.
Okay.
See, that's part of the problem.
The fact that you put in front of gays tells us a lot.
Miss Rowling, just like so many people allies and people from the LGBTQ community.
Is this World War II?
Like,
could you stop being the worst long enough to just let him say the thing he's going to say, JK? Come on, JK.
Like Ralph and I were throwing this pitch together. We could have just said, like, you know, like Muggles' rights are human rights. And like that applies to everybody on the spectrum. I thought Ralph had a good pitch for that. And just the fact that you laughed at us at that first shot, just...
if we're talking about the spectrum, I mean, autism is real. My next book is all about an autistic... I mean, if you really look into it,
we're
Harry
going
Potter,
with the plan. Okay. So here's what we do.
Okay.
We're going to ghostwrite a J.K. Rowling book
where
she's kind to trans people. All right? We can't let this cash cow end. She's a monster, but nobody's ever going to miss her. Let's just get rid of her, okay? We'll just roll her.
That's fine. Potter belongs to the people.
I can't hear anything. What's going on?
I've been looking for a closet wife anyway.
It's fine. It's going to be ironic. We'll make her disappear. I'm not 100% okay with the closet wife thing, by the way. I gotta call that one out.
Yeah, Ralph, we have to talk about that later.
I feel like we're just shifting problematic to a whole other section here.
We're gonna weaken at Bernie's this J.K. Rowling situation, but as soon as we're done with that, we are gonna talk about your.
We gotta talk Rowling.
Oh wait, we're gonna kill her so that she's dead while we prop her up.
I can't hear or see anything, but I sure hope there aren't any homosexuals in this room now.
You make it really hard to defend you.
More chloroform.
If you want to weaken at Bernie's her, then we're going to hold her up, but people are going to see she's alive because she's going to be like opening her eyes and flailing about and trying to escape. But if we kill her, then we can, manipulate her how we want.
Ralph, we're going to turn JK into JD. It's going to be a Salinger thing. She goes into hiding, she is reclusive, and then we just keep putting out more books. But this time, things where, like, her online presence is, like, starting with, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I mean, how easy would that for us to all say?
You got to remember, that didn't work so well for Shia LaBeouf. The whole I'm sorry thing, all the apologies he did, which were all plagiarized as well. Like, people don't really take to those anymore.
I don't remember any I'm sorry's. I just remember just do it.
Shia LaBeouf has a pretty good career now. Sorry, lunch is here.
Oh, hi.
Oh,
yes.
I have the chicken wrap.
But I just couldn't help it overhearing. But Peanut Butter Falcon was fantastic, and
I had the Impossible Sloppy Joe.
I have the chicken wrap.
Okay, Shia, real quick.
I have the chicken wrap.
No, guys, time out.
I gotta go and enjoy your lunch, everybody.
As soon as we finish this J.K. Rowling situation, and then we talk about Ralph's closet wife, we need to talk to Shia LaBeouf about talking to himself in the third person. I'm tired of hearing this, okay? Just because he grabs our lunches doesn't mean Shia gets to refer to himself in the third person.
Chicken wrap?
I mean, I respect how deep he's gone into character for this new film.
Yeah, how did those tattoos work out from the last one? I heard the reviews were not so good.
What's going on? Is America great again?
Oh, jeez.
I swear, Kevin, you started eating my chicken wrap. I'm gonna...
I still think Muggles' rights are human rights.
Kill J.K. Rowling.
Can we just pour all of the chloroform on her face?
I got no problem with that.
Glub, 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 glub.
Oh, we're gonna kill her now? We're gonna actually kill her?
Ralph, you're way too excited about this.
Oh.
Legit. Oh, sad Ralph. Sad Ralph.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf did get his entire chest tattooed for the last film he did, and the reviews were really, really not good. Like, this is a thing he's been doing. Like, I have such a hard time because I like Shia LaBeouf. Like, I like the guy.
Wait, Jet, before you continue, what were the reviews of his chest tattoo?
They were good.
Then
the tattoos were 9 out of 10 easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Net positive.
I remember he cut his face for a previous film he did. Like, he was supposed to have scars on his face, and he wasn't impressed with the makeup work they were doing, so he just cut his own face for it. Like, it feels like he wants to be Christian Bale Like he wants to be that kind of an actor who is just as like commits to a level that nobody else commits to, but he picks the wrong project.
But he did commit. Remember when he did Transformers and he was like Optimus?
That was commitment. That was commitment. Absolutely.
You ask any agent out there, they will tell you Shia LaBeouf is a star, but Christian Bale, he's an entire galaxy. And it's still true.
What country is your agent from?
Nondescript anywhere.
Nondescript.
Latveria.
Boise.
Now, the question I wanted to ask Stephen St. James here.
I think we had the same question on our minds.
Go ahead, ask him.
Oh, I was going to say before the podcast, we stopped you from talking because this is such an interesting story.
Wait, we're actually going to allude to that we had conversations outside the podcast?
Yeah, I'm going to admit that we talk outside of this because I already implied it by the fact that we're friends.
We are not friends. Disclaimer, we are not friends. We are only podcast partners in lieu of making giant cash. Go ahead.
Yes.
We have a shared friend in the community, our colleague, our teacher, our coach, Shirley Cowan. And you were chatting about how she was kind of instrumental in some of your beginnings and your current part of this process.
Well, I feel like I have a very lucky coach journey. Part of that is because I'm not a woman in improv, and so no one tried to do anything terrible to me.
Yep.
But Shuli, after I was like taking these classes just because as a middle school drama teacher, I wanted to have more stuff to take to my students. And I went to Shuli after my level A class, and I was like, I want to move on to level B, but there's nothing available. I was wondering if I could go to IFA 2, which is like improv for actors, level 2. And she was like, yeah, you can. You
mispronounced actors.
Actors.
Yes.
And she was like, yeah, you'll be great. You'll be fine. And then the group of people that I met in IFA 2, I fell in love with. And we traveled with each other all the way through the program. We had our grad show with iGod, directed by Jay Leggett, who was just a fantastic human being. And it was a wonderful experience, even though I do, of course, have my problems with Second City and their ideas around representation. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with all that. I also have a Shirley Cowan story.
Wait, I don't think you get to disagree with any of it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you can't be like, you can't be like, that didn't happen to your life.
No, but it doesn't hurt to say that I agree and I support you 100%, Stephen St. James.
Hold up. Improv is yes and. You just no butted.
Yes and to not the bad thing. I love this story. It's one of my favorite Shirley Cowan stories. I had her for level 4 over at IO West. At the time, she was recovering from a throat surgery, so she could she could barely talk. So much so, and if you don't know Shirley Cowan, listeners, she is a wonderful improviser. She had a show for 20 years called Opening Night. It was an improvised musical. It was magic.
Insanely good.
If we didn't have this pandemic, she would still be doing it every week.
Oh yeah. That's the only thing that derailed it. Yeah.
I'm sure she's doing it in her apartment still just to keep her chops up. She's that committed.
Well, and she's got other things going on too. Like she's doing Established online too, which I highly recommend checking out. EST.
So, so she was trying to preserve her voice as much as possible for the performance. So I had her in level 4, and that's kind of like a little bit deeper scene work. And she was so committed to preserving her voice that she spoke through a mic through a 15-watt guitar amp, just so the amp would project her voice, so she didn't have to project her voice.
So she Peter Frampton,
kind of without the
Shirley Cowan comes alive.
So yeah.
So she asked the improv class, "Do you feel like I do?"
Yeah. Baby, she was like, "Baby, I love your way." So it's my favorite. It's one of the best notes I've ever got in improv, but it doesn't have really anything to do with me. So I'm in this scene. The scene goes how it goes, and she's trying to save her voice. So she just goes, "Josh," throws me a thumbs up. I'm like, yes. I didn't get notes in that scene. I'm feeling great. She talks to this other guy, Trevor, and she turns on the mic, and her voice is just like Harvey Fierstein, gravel. And she's like, "Why were you trying to destroy that scene? You kept saying no at every single moment. I don't know what you're doing up there, but that wasn't it. Quit saying no to it. You got to commit. You got to try harder. Josh, you were fine. Trevor, oh my God.
For me, the Shuley moment that always sticks out, you remember this well, Josh, is we were basically auditioning her to be the coach for the Feel Good Not Bad Death Laser.
Dummy.
And we did one of our deconstructions, and I initiated a scene that, again, this was like early in my improv experience, and even early with the team, and I initiated it with a blowjob joke. And it was off of something else.
Sure.
It was the reference
highbrow.
Thank you.
I
yes.
remember this now.
Well, in fairness, it was a highbrow blowjob joke, but yeah, it was directly off of something else.
Narrator.
And I initiated off of it, and we did a short scene, and then she gave her notes, and she took issue with the scene and felt that we were not a blue team. And someone said, well, how would you have handled that? And she said, well, I would have edited after the first line.
Super.
Edit.
Legit so hard. Wait, what?
I just thought Chris was enjoying a lovely vanilla shake.
Thank you, Steven.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You guys are truly sick people.
Okay, do we have to have a team meeting about this?
That
Coach
was
said,
like, wait a minute. That was like all three of you were trying to hide your boners at the same time.
Whoa! I would never try to hide my boner.
You didn't even let it, like...
We know.
Like...
Ralph,
you
we've talked about this a million times.
You just said that early on you were making the blowjob jokes to introduce a scene.
Yep. And I immediately followed Shuley's advice.
You could have taken that
her
anywhere.
advice to edit
Stephen
it
C. James
immediately.
was like, he's enjoying a
popsicle.
a vanilla shake. Mm-hmm. I could be enjoying a popsicle. I could be doing any. Like, I didn't even say
we could have made
anything
it
yet.
full on highbrow. It could have been performance
Oh my
art.
God! You didn't give it a chance.
Look,
like, wow.
Do you want to do it again,
Fuck
Chris? Do you want
this
to try again?
podcast.
Do you want to go again? Do you want to start your blowjob noises again?
No, apparently you're all a bunch of homosexuals.
We'll save it for the next
Oh no, J.K. Rowling, go away, J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling.
I thought we
No,
chloroformed you
get
in
out
the
of
closet.
here, J.K. Rowling. No. You're not allowed. You invented the Hufflepuffs and then live a life that goes against everything they believe in.
Well, she's obviously not a Hufflepuff. She's a Slytherin.
Yeah. Clearly, she's a Slytherin. That's the great irony. Yeah. The great irony.
Super.
Look, if we're having an improv meeting right now and we're giving each other notes as a team, I just want to.
Oh shit!
We can't go into a show with our lines preloaded. Like, you heard Kevin. He was like, "Hey, let's do that. Should we do that?" No, we can't do that again. Okay, we have to honor the scene. And secondly, can we talk about with Fred over here having a boner again on stage? Like, it's inappropriate. Okay, like we said, we're a highbrow unit here.
Well, but it's people laugh. People laugh at the boners. Okay, and they laugh at our pre-written lines.
Yeah, mostly at the size.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it would be very easy to just transition into being a sketch troupe, guys. I really think that's the way to go. I mean,
that's what I've been saying. We can just
but people love improv. People just flock to improv. You say you're doing an improv show, and you fill the audience.
They line up in droves. They line up around the block.
They buy drinks. They buy T-shirts. They're all over it. So
they buy books. They buy all the books.
I will say,
every book.
The later at night, the better too.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Like people love a good 1 a.m. improv show.
Yeah, I was about to say I have a 1:30 slot over at the clubhouse on a Wednesday night. Are we all committed to doing that show? I don't know if we want to do sketch or improv, but are we committed to doing that?
We can. Well, again, we can claim it's improv, and we'll write it, and we'll be heroes.
Is that the theater where that one guy was leaving and he got robbed?
Yeah,
and then
you got to be more specific.
He got kidnapped, and then 3 weeks later, they found him and he couldn't remember his name.
Still got to be more specific.
I can make that show.
You're thinking of the place that a guy left the theater got robbed, and then 2 weeks later they started mailing his fingers one at a time to his spouse and asked for a ransom, and then they couldn't pay, and then they just kept cutting off different parts, and eventually he just like his face didn't have a nose or ears, and then they realized they were mailing it to the wrong person.
That guy had really good characters.
Was that the theater where the one guy called me the anti-Semitic slur beforehand, and then my car got robbed afterwards?
Yes to all of that. Let's stop with the references. Sanders is falling asleep because it's not Chicago Improv. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
What? Sorry, I fell asleep. Oh wait. Oh, I see. What are you guys commenting on improv by doing scenes about improv?
Well,
yeah.
That's accusatory.
Fuck! I fucking hate this group. I'm out.
Oh, he's just wow. He left. All right.
Okay, so Sanders is gone. Are we good to doing sketch now? Are we a sketch group officially?
Well, yeah, but I think we need to have a great original name, like the
State Part 2.
Something with a pun.
The State Part 2.
Great. Let's do that. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. First choice, best choice.
No, great.
Yep.
Improv, baby.
Do we say legit now?
Legit.
What? State Part 2? I'm back, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave. I'm back.
Legit so hard.
Oh, that's inside baseball. That was a true story too. The time that I got the anti-Semitic slurs against me before.
Oh yeah,
a show.
I remember that. Our one show ever at UCB.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good times.
Hyman and I were out front. This was
how are you?
Right?
You did a show at UCB. Why are you guys not on SNL?
Yeah.
Well, no, we're Parks and Recreation, right? We're going to do Parks and Rec. We're a part of the Parks and Recreation.
Hey, I live there now.
It was UCB Sunset, not Franklin.
We were all on Freeform. We got the Freeform one instead of.
Yeah, but yeah, we did a show. The Death Laser did a show there, and Heiman and I were we got there early. We were standing out front talking. I was pointing out where a theater once was back when I was a kid. I had done a play that had, of all strange things, Elizabeth Shue was in it playing a Jew.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, yes, exactly. And I was pointing it out to Heiman and talking about it. And this guy walks up to us and stands next to us as though he's a part of the conversation. And then he starts butting in about asking us questions about whatever we're talking about. And I was just explaining it to him. And he's like, "Oh, hey, can I borrow your phone?"
That's right.
I need to call my dad.
Oh yeah.
And this guy's like mid-20s too. And it's like, it's weird. The guy's clearly not 100% there. And I'm thinking, I like, this is a brand new phone. I'm not going to hand it to I'm not going to be that guy who later on is telling the story of how I got my phone stolen from him. And so I'm like,
and it was a Motorola Razr.
And I'm like,
Razr 2.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I'm sorry. I don't feel comfortable giving my phone to a stranger. And he looks at me for a second and he replies, "What are you, some kind of a Jew?" And I looked at him for a second. And then I just turned around and continued my story to Heiman about the theater that we were talking about as though we had never been interrupted.
Did this happen sometime between January of 2017 and yesterday?
Yes, I think that's correct.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, that's, that math is right. Yeah. And then later that night, after our terrible show, I went back to my car and found my car had in fact been burgled and my laptop computer had been stolen from it. And I like to think it was the same guy.
I don't know if our show was that bad, but
our experience was bad.
The whole experience is bad, yeah. And to his credit, we were two Jews hanging out talking, so
it's true. I can't fault him for that. He
talking
pegged
about
us correctly.
Elizabeth Shue playing a Jew.
Yeah.
So he may have just been using a context clue. I keep on rhyming. Oh dear God, what am I going to do?
It's at this time of the show that we actually like to introduce some of our wonderful sponsors that we have supporting the Super Legit podcast. Now, as we've brought it up before, I like to find local homegrown ads. Chris Sanders likes to bring in the big corporations like Boys Toys has been a wonderful sponsor of ours for episodes in, and Michael Heiman likes to find the fringe
up and coming, on the cusp, ads. Ready to hit the main, That was kind of
So
nice.
while we'll hear one of those later, we're excited to hear one of our ads that I have found. So Chris Sanders, if you don't mind pulling up that one I sent you, we can get this one going.
Oh yeah, I got you, Josh.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, Chris was just rebooting there.
No, it's a tape. We deal with these old tapes.
Right.
I had to
reel to reel.
pull it out.
Did you get your tape deck repaired? Because you were having problems with it.
Oh no, it's totally repaired.
Great.
I found one of the only remaining Radio Shacks in the country.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they mostly converted into Sprint stores, which are now T-Mobile stores, and it's just getting really confusing.
But it's already it's ready to go.
Great, let's hear it.
Okay, this is 9-time World Surf champ Topher Sands. Sup, fam? We've all been there. I know I have. You're a laid-back person, like me. Very cool, bro. Most would even say you're pretty chill, like me. I bet you probably ask yourself, how does the Toph turtle roll from beach break to beach break after surfing the dawn with that cut-off cargo cougar shell flip-flop Joe flow without getting heat from the paddle pusses patrolling the break? Or, if you're not a local, how are people gonna think you're laid back and stuff? Like me. I got the soup's easy solution to prove to those eddies that you're not a Jake. The fine broskies that brought you supple dumps are totes happy to bring you old souls. Souls for the bottom of your feet. Boards need wax. You need old souls. It's that simple, bruv. It's like just for men, but for your feet. Because your hair is gonna be perfect forever since you surf and stuff. It's made from the most authentic beach sand ingredients, including silicon dioxide, petroleum silicate, non-particulate sludge, and cashed out barnacle nuts. You can walk on any surface. Zuma Beach, Hawaiian lava, LA streets in the summer. Nothing is taking off these souls. Just like there are flavors of tasty Rip Curls, there are shades to your little piggies. Shades include Backyard Hang, Quick Errand, The Trail, Santa Monica Back Alley Comedy Club, or Hollywood Side Street. Type BRO in the promo code and receive a special unisex body spray. Ubiquitously you. The spray that everyone has and is made for everyone. But it's your smell. You wear it best. Boards need wax. You need old souls. Like me. Topher Sands.
Does anyone know where Topher Sands hails from originally?
Yeah, he's actually
NorCal.
Yeah,
Definitely NorCal.
Big NorCal guy.
There was a slight European vibe in there too that I thought was interesting. So I was just trying to.
I got a twinge of Jersey Shore adjacent.
Sure.
Nah, he's really nondescript. He's spent time all over the world. He just surfs. He's surfed every break.
I heard he's the son of actor Julian Sands.
I think.
Yeah. Okay, that might make some sense.
I saw Topher Sands ripping the curls, Huntington Beach. Got a Plancha Fest burrito after that, and I just thought he was the coolest guy.
That's great.
Ever. Yeah, so.
Does anyone know what the product was?
No.
Old Souls.
It's Old Souls.
Yeah, it's Old Souls. They go on your feet, they toughen up. You didn't get the sample this time. No, it's it's kind of like an all-natural barefoot shoe that you can wear on your foot. It's like a second skin almost.
Oh, no, I did. Okay, I got that. I thought someone literally sent me a pile of skin, and I threw that away. I'm embarrassed now.
No. You put it on your feet, man. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I might be able to. I think it. I don't think we've had trash pickup this week, so I might be able to
dig them
that back out and try that. Yeah.
Put them on.
I don't know if you guys have a dog, but keep him on a high shelf because my dog was just like total chew toy. It was nuts.
Okay.
So yeah, we got Topher Sands. I hope we hear more from him in the future. I think he's great. Steven, I wanted to ask you, what is the best not best, because what's best, but what is the
best means better than anything else.
What is it? What is the one improv show that like transformed you? Like everybody sees in the improv circle where you see one show and you're like, I got to do this. What was the one show where you're like, I want to go to there, and to there was improv?
Okay. See, I'm gonna diverge the question and talk about sketch because
sure.
Once I
as that last scene did, yeah.
Once I fell in love with improv, it was the idea of like turning it into sketch. And there are 2 shows where it was just like seeing somebody, not like, like somebody who's on TV or anything like that, because that's the kids in the hall. They're like, my linchpin. But like seeing humans perform live, Superpunk, which is a sketch group out of Chicago. I saw them at a festival like before I was doing improv, and I was just like, what magic is this? And then as far as peers, as far as like seeing somebody who it's like, I had a drink with that genius.
Oh yeah.
The Printer's Daughters, which was Carla now Kikowski, and this woman, Deborah Gross. They performed a 2-person show that if like my group that I perform with all the time, Nerdvana, would not exist if it wasn't for these ladies, because like Chris Compton and I were like, okay, let's try to write a sketch every month. And in a year and a half, we'll have enough to do a half-hour show and we'll take it slow. And they were like, hey, 30 days from now, we've got a show at West Side. We want you guys to be our openers. You got to have a half an hour go. And we were like, oh, we're not going to say no to that. But those 2 had a series of just knockout, drop dead, socially relevant, super smart, incredibly well acted sketches that were great. There was one about like a little girl who was starting up a lemonade stand where this old woman had always run a lemonade stand, and the little girl is clearly going full Walmart on this little old lady and like pushing her out of business. Oh, so many great sketches. I love those 2, and it like pushed me. It was like, okay, if those people I know can do this, I can try for something like that. And Carla's writing, they stopped performing together for a while, but Carla Kikowski is still just her one-woman shows. I just absolutely loved her Mary Shelley show. Oh God, just enough praise for my pals. But
I took a workshop from Carla in OC Improv Festival, and she's spectacular. She's very, very smart, very capable, and what she taught me, it carried with me very well. It was so many very simple things, and she makes them so simple on the spot. And it's like, if this is this simple, why didn't I just already do this? And yet I didn't. And she just pulls apart what you're doing and then puts you in the right place. And it's like, oh, I can just do that forever now. And now I'm better.
You guys remember what it was like to have festivals?
Yeah,
no.
The good old days.
No, I don't.
One of my favorite Carla memories is she directed an improvised Chekhov show called The Mighty Stumps that she had me in.
Yeah.
And it was this thing where I had never read Chekhov. And I remember like being in my studio apartment, like walking down the hill to the bakery down the hill from me and sitting there reading through The Seagull. And I got to the end and I literally called her and I was like, this play is really good. Like, I'm the first guy to read Chekhov. Like, I'm the first guy to be like, wow, this Chekhov guy's got a real future. Good eye. Good eye. Super.
All right, cool. So I'm glad we're doing this writing circle. I think, 2 heads are better than 1, 3 is better than 2, 4 than 3, 5 than 4. You guys get it. So,
well, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Is this a math session?
Yeah.
No.
Are we doing math?
No.
Because it's not. That was never my subject.
No. We're writing together. Okay. So like, when how does it go? One sword sharpens the other. I'm a sword. You're a
okay, but you're doing the numbers again.
Shit.
You're doing the numbers again.
Okay.
Are we doing math? Because I was not prepared for math.
How many swords make it to Chicago by 3 p.m.?
2 swords on a train going 7...
Doesn't have to be this high, guys.
If 2 swords are on a train...
Legit. Legit again. Legit again.
What?
Legit so hard.
You just pulled the ripcord on that one?
Oh,
I mean,
come
Sanders
on.
started the blowjob again. It's like,
what?
It's not a blowjob.
but Julie trained us so well.
It's
The
not-
moment someone
I
starts
feel like
the
they-
blowjob,
How
it's
many
over.
blowjobs have you had in your life? Because this sound effect is not. I don't. What?
I need some alone time. I'll be right back.
I dare you to name anything else that sounds like that isn't a blowjob, because you know what? You're wrong.
Heiman, why don't you show us?
Okay. You know how when you're getting a shake from In-N-Out and there's only a little bit left in the bottom? That was the sound Chris was making.
How does that sound,
I mean,
Steven?
yeah, like of the spectrum of things that it could be.
Hey,
Like if it were like sucking
Sanders,
the last bit of a
that broccoli
shake.
cheese soup sounds like it's kind of hot.
Yeah, to blowjob. I mean, it was so
Those
much
aren't those
closer to eating broccoli cheese soup or sucking the last bit of a shake than not even
I
close
can't
to
eat
a
either of those
blowjob.
things anymore because
What's
I'm
the
lactose
last
intolerant.
blowjob you've had?
Well, I think this questioning has taken a whole different direction.
I can't comment.
We can't. You can't come exactly. It's evident in your idea of what the
Because
fucking blowjob
I'm
sounds
married
like.
and I cannot give away that information about
And-
my partner without
And it's
their
more
consent.
sad for me that I honestly could not tell you the last time. So I've the sound you
Point
make
of order.
is like
Point of
no,
order.
wait, oh,
Go ahead, Michael.
the sound you make sounds in my mind like, okay, that sounds like the last time, but I don't remember when that is. But that was
what? Who
Okay,
is sucking
Chris-
your dick?
Chris, I gotta say,
How did
Chris
that the
Sanders,
sound-
I don't know if you've ever been more right, because the scene was cut off because they were like, we don't want to talk about blowjobs, but we could have made it anything, and now we spent so much
Exactly.
time
Yep.
talking about.
Exactly. It could have been anything, and you guys are so fucking horny that you just
Thank you.
No,
Finally, someone
this is a
recognized
blowjob.
how I feel.
can't have this. I can't have this, and we are not going to do a scene
Yeah.
about it. Absolutely not. I cut this off here.
You guys went full Mormon
Are we gonna-
underwear on that.
Are we
scene.
going to be transphobic? Can we be
Garbage.
transphobic and homophobic and racist with J.K. Rowling all fucking day? All day. We will do that.
Okay.
Are you going to make a noise that doesn't sound even remotely like a fucking blowjob? No, because I can't have that.
You know what? I propose once
Sure.
this episode's released that we take a poll of our audience.
Oh
to
yeah.
listen, and this is a bad idea already.
I love that like Stephen St. James is our guest, and like he's one of the smartest
Quote
people.
guest.
No bits here. He's truly one of the smartest and IQ, emotional intelligence, just one of the top humans
IQ,
I know.
EQ,
And the fact that we're doing this
DQ.
blowjob stuff on his episode is just chef's kiss, perfect.
Well, because we've been talking a lot about improv, okay? And Jet even had a moment where he talked about being
Yeah.
ashamed that he was early on and he just went blue and introduced the scene with blowjobs. And a skilled improviser will take the fucking high road. This is also meta for like Trump and shit, like we talked about. When they go low, you go high, we go high, and you guys aren't going high.
Super.
Mr. Sanders, I just want to say I'm so glad that you decided to teach a workshop at our improv festival. Tell me again exactly what the sound effects workshop is that you're teaching.
Oh, I'm gonna teach you how to sound like you're sucking a big fat white cock.
Legit.
Okay,
That's all I wanted.
give
all
it
I wanted.
just a second.
You went
Give
so
it
high.
just a second, because I
So
was just
high.
about to be like, and in your acting journey, how have roosters helped you perform good scene work? Yeah.
It's at this point of the show where Michael Heiman presents one of his fringe products. So take it away, Mike.
Oh God. Okay.
I think we can take a moment if we need a moment.
No,
we can
man,
take it.
no.
After all that, where else could I go with that?
Yes,
Set up,
that's correct.
Josh.
No,
It
you.
was the right
Yeah,
choice.
you dunked that one. You dunked it.
Ali and Oop. That was it. That was it.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is you just really wanted to drive the cocksucking home. Okay.
Oh, those fundamentals are strong.
I love you, Sanders.
This is that kind of a podcast.
Oh God.
I gotta say, guys, I'm gonna be so proud to have my name on this episode.
Another episode without a woman.
Mike, you're up, buddy.
Okay. Hey kids, are you looking for a new toy to play with? I know you are, but you don't seem like the cool kind of kids that'll play with boys' toys. You need awkward toys. That's why we've got Squiggle Darts. They're the newest tetanus-free invention from Awkward Toys. You want a dart that may not shoot straight and doesn't stick to anything, it definitely is all blunt and won't actually puncture you. You want Squiggle Darts. They're not that dangerous, but they're wacky! Woo! Look at that! Pull back the mechanism and pull the trigger. Whoa, look at that dart go in all those different directions. You know how weird and wacky that is? That's David Lee Roth wacky is what it is. Try Squiggle Darts, included with a free medical kit. That's actually a whole nother toy, because you're never going to hurt yourself playing with Squiggle Darts. New from Awkward Toys.
I got some Squiggle Darts for my son. They instantly went over the neighbor's fence. Yeah, they flew like all of the neighbors. Just, we don't have them anymore. Yeah, but they were fun.
That's the unpredictable, wacky nature of them. Yeah,
they were fun, briefly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they're pretty cheap too, so you can afford to replace them on a regular basis.
They are.
That was
very affordable.
I mean, I got mine at the 99-cent store. I assumed it was a clearance thing, but since you're advertising them now, clearly they're current, so that's just how cheap they are.
Yeah.
I get cheap. Cheap is a negative word. I should say inexpensive.
Affordable.
Those are affordable for sure.
A good value.
Yeah,
a good value.
Great value. Yeah, but they're like top of the line at the 99, and that rhymes.
And the med kit was surprisingly well specced out. Like it had a numbing agent in it. It had the bandages. It had antibacterial cream.
Tweezers.
It had
much Novocaine.
Stitching kit. Yeah, the Novocaine. I was impressed. Honestly, it's a better value just for the med kit alone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, proud to have them as a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
So, Steven, you're also a teacher.
Yes.
How is that going?
No. No. What's your honestly like? I really honestly think that's like a very noble profession to do. What is your favorite?
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, man. What's your favorite thing about it? Like, what keeps you going?
Oh, it is getting to see kids at their best because I'm a drama teacher. So my job, I laugh more than any teacher on that campus. I laughed so hard at children, and it's fun, and it's perfect. It is a great job, and I get to see kids at their best. I get to see kids figure out their emotions by pretending other emotions. I get to see kids try things on. I get to see them build camaraderie and ensemble. One of the most important things is I get to see what happens when one person isn't pulling their weight and how the rest of the group reacts, where it's like, we're either going to drag this person across the finish line or we're going to let them know you are the fart in the pool and we are going to just work around you and get there. And it's fantastic. Every year, like we have the big moment. Do you guys want me to tell you the story of the second play that I ever did? This, by the way,
yes.
Please don't.
You can also see this story. If you look me up. This is what I won the Moth with. I won the Moth.
I asked you not to, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's happening. I got momentum now. All right.
Yes, sir.
I'm the captain now. It's the second play that I'm doing. Like, I got dumped into this. Like, I had almost no training since high school, and I grew up in Texas, so I was like, I'm gonna be like the drama coach, and I was like super intense with them. And if kids didn't have their lines down, they did push-ups, and like I was yelling at kids all the time, and I was super intense. And my best friend was like, who are you? Like, what is going on? And like, I had all these flip outs and was just this total rage monkey all the time. I was like the PT and like the David O. Russell of middle school drama. Like, I was just losing my shit constantly. And
you were making middle schoolers do push-ups for not acting right?
For if they didn't have lines memorized. But I had to do the push-ups too. Everybody, because we succeed as a team.
And that's not having lines memorized is not acting right.
Well,
to be fair, this is Texas where they shut down the city to watch football games.
I grew up in Texas. This was here in California. So
then you have no leg to stand on, you monster.
I've got no legs to stand on. Zero legs to stand on.
You're a monster by California.
I am a monster. But I will say this, that group of students, every few years they have a reunion and they all get back together. And I'm invited. If I wasn't invited, I would be like, oh, this is trauma they're all processing together.
Yeah.
Since they have me there and nobody's confronted me. But yeah, I still we're all still pals on Facebook. One of them is a second grade teacher now. But like the night the night of our show, it was my angry chickens coming home to roost because the girls' changing room, there was like an actual physical altercation between two girls, and I couldn't go in there because it's the girls' changing room. And so this high school girl goes in there and stops it, and it's like this huge thing. And one of my like sweet little students comes up to me. She had a fight with her boyfriend who was also in the cast, because dating somebody in the cast is always the best idea. Sarcasm. And she said to me, this fucking play is fucking bullshit, and I'm going fucking home right fucking now. And this is like maybe 10 minutes until curtain. And I was like,
oh my God.
And I have my tech students like gather everybody in the room, and I like give this like somber, calm speech that like one of the tech students was like, dude, that was a hockey speech. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we go out and we do the show, and it's fine. It's a middle school play. It's not like, it was so good, they used it, and it was beautiful. Sleeping Beauty, the spell of Sleeping Beauty was broken. It was just fine. It was just fine. And it wasn't terrible. It was fine. It was good. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was, that's when I found out that like I had to be more Steven in class and less like Mr. James. And I had to, And now it's like, I love it. It's so great. If it had not been for COVID, I would have won an award last year as like arts teacher of the year in Burbank.
What?
But then the ceremony was scheduled for May, and for some reason that got canceled. Yeah.
Wait, because the ceremony was canceled, you didn't receive the reward?
They said we're going to postpone it until next year. And at that time I was like, cool. That'll be fine. And now I'm like, which next year?
Super.
And the winner of this year's ashtray made out of clay that you really can't quite tell is an ashtray. It may be an ashtray. Why are we still making ashtrays? The winner is for art teacher of the year. Stephen C. James.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, I can't! Oh my God! I can't! Oh my gosh! Oh, thank you so much. I would not be here right now if it wasn't for a couple of people that I just have to name.
This is Stephen St. James' 19th nomination and his first win. He's previously been nominated for Sleeping Beauty, Sleeping Beauty 2, the high school musical, Sleeping Beauty 3, the middle school musical, Sleeping Beauty 4. This is just an average musical.
I gotta say that there's a couple people I need to thank. First of all, I need to thank my mom. If it wasn't for her going out and partying with her friends and making me watch the movie Sleeping Beauty over and over again on VHS when I was a kid, I don't think I would be here right now. I got some other people to thank. First of all, I have to thank the other nominees. Jet Kaufman, I gotta say, your middle school production of the Vagina Monologues was revelatory, and I can't believe that you aren't standing up here right now. Joshua Spence, I found that your Charlotte's Web moving in such a brave revision to kill both Charlotte and Wilbur so kids could see what the world was really like. Michael Heiman, the things that you did on stage with children and robots was daring and weird. And sir, I thank you for that. And Chris Sanders, your play, Vindicated Shake monologue.
Legit! And on that blowjob, I think there's no
blowjob.
If that's not a blowjob, I don't know what is.
You don't know
what
a blowjob is.
We've all established that you don't.
I think at the end, for all of our, anytime we call Super Legit, we should have like that little Pornhub, like boom, at the end of it.
Wait, what's that?
What's that?
Here we go. Now, there we go. I figured out the problem. Hey, Chris, I figured out the thing. Okay, it's the fact that these guys know the sound effects on Pornhub, and that's why they're making this assumption.
I'm confused because you walked all the way to the end of a Pornhub video?
Does Pornhub give you a hi-hat riff at the end when you come?
Well, it's like,
I had no idea.
Okay, all right. I think, you see, this episode was supposed to be an exploration of me, but I think we found out more about these guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful.
And speaking of these guys...
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'd like to
my
thank all of
pee-pee
these
go
guys.
badoom, blowjob go. Sex
Thank
go.
you all for this experience this week.
I can do the Terminator 2 soundtrack.
Oh my god! And you have before. I'd like to thank Matt Walker if he's even willing to have his name associated with this episode for the intro and outro music. I know none of our cast is willing to have their names on this episode.
I know it's funny because before we would say, "Oh, like we have to redo Sanders and Jet. We have to like remaster them to really get their full experience." I think we just got to throw Steven on that too. So it's just like we got to everybody.
Steven gets a gimme bonus focus episode to make up for this one. You can find a link to Matt Walker's website in the notes. You can check out his other music. He's got fantastic work.
He's the man.
If you're not already subscribing to us on whatever podcast service that you like, please subscribe and then leave us a nice review to tell us how much you love us. And tell other people to listen to us.
Hey, Allie, feel better.
Yes. We miss you, Allie, tonight. Please come back. We're
you see what we devolve to when you are not here.
Yeah. No, this if you hear this episode, you will see exactly how badly you need.
That's true.
We only talk about ice cream sundaes.
That's true.
Baby.
None of us was making the blowjob sounds. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Chris and Steven, the High Road Twins. Yeah.
Yep. All right. That's it for this episode of Super Legit. So we'll get you back here real soon, probably with less blowjob jokes.
Not if I can help it.
Can I start recording
now?
There
weren't any blowjob jokes.
Yes, Josh, you can start recording now.
I don't believe anything's on. Oh my time, I kicked the door on its hinges just so I could move on. Oh,
None of those were jokes. It was just you guys being embarrassed that you thought it was a blowjob and not being able to start anything after it.